On a crisp autumn morning, the National Cemetery stands solemn and serene, its rolling hills blanketed in a soft mist. A gentle breeze weaves through the rows of white headstones, each one a silent testament to a life given in service. The air carries the faint scent of fallen leaves and damp earth, mingling with the distant sound of a bugle's mournful notes. Today, a ceremony of remembrance unfolds, honoring the heroes who rest beneath these sacred grounds. A ritual of gratitude that binds the living to the fallen. At the heart of this moment is a small figure, a boy no older than 7, walking slowly toward the towering memorial at the cemetery's center. His name is Samuel Carter, and in his small hands he clutches an old officer's cap, its khaki fabric faded, its insignia dulled by time. The cap belonged to his father, Captain Daniel Carter, a soldier who never returned from a distant battlefield. Samuel's steps are deliberate, his small frame dwarfed by the grandeur of the occasion. Yet his presence commands the attention of every soul in the crowd. The cemetery is alive with quiet reverence. Hundreds of veterans, their uniforms adorned with medals, stand shoulder to shoulder with families clutching photographs and folded flags. Dignitaries in dark suits murmur prayers, their heads bowed. A military band plays softly, the notes of Abide With Me, floating like a whispered promise. The memorial, a granite obelisk, etched with names, rises against the gray sky, its surface catching the pale sunlight. Among the crowd, eyes begin to turn toward Samuel, drawn by the sight of a child carrying a legacy far greater than himself. Samuel is dressed in a tiny black suit, its sleeves just a touch too long, tailored with care by his mother, Elizabeth. His shoes, polished to a mirror shine, click softly against the stone path. His face, framed by a mop of dark curls, is a study in contrasts. Youthful innocence tempered by a grief too heavy for his years. His hazel eyes, so like his father's, shimmer with a mix of pride and longing. The officer's cap, held tightly to his chest, is more than an heirloom. It is a piece of his father, a symbol of a man who taught him to love his country, to honor sacrifice, even as he kissed him goodbye for the last time. Elizabeth stands a few paces behind, her hands clasped tightly, her face etched with quiet strength. She is a widow at 32, her life reshaped by loss. Yet she carries on for Samuel, for the memory of Daniel. She remembers the day Daniel gave her the cap, laughing as he placed it on her head, promising he'd be back to wear it again. That promise was broken, but the cap remains, a bridge between father and son. Today, she has entrusted it to Samuel, knowing this moment is his to claim. The crowd is a tapestry of stories, gray-haired veterans with canes, young soldiers in crisp uniforms, mothers clutching their children, all united by the shared weight of remembrance. A retired general, his chest heavy with ribbons, watches Samuel with a furrowed brow. A young woman, her brother's name carved on the memorial, wipes her eyes with a trembling hand. The band's music fades, and a hush settles over the gathering, broken only by the rustle of leaves and the soft crunch of Samuel's footsteps. All eyes are on him now, this small boy with a soldier's cap, walking toward a destiny he barely understands. Samuel's life has been shaped by absence. He was 4 when his father deployed, too young to grasp the danger, but old enough to feel the ache of goodbye. Daniel's letters came regularly at first, filled with stories of dusty roads and starry skies, always ending with, "I love you, Sammy. Be brave." Then the letters stopped, replaced by a knock at the door and the chaplain's solemn face. Samuel doesn't remember much of that day, only his mother's sobs and the weight of the flag they handed her, folded into a tight triangle. But he remembers the cap, tucked away in a cedar box, and the stories his mother told of a man who loved fiercely, fought bravely, and believed in a better world. The memorial looms closer, its granite surface cold and unyielding. The names carved into it stretch in endless rows, each one a life, a story, a sacrifice. Samuel's eyes searched the stone, guided by memory. His mother showed him the spot last year, tracing the letters with her finger. Captain Daniel J. Carter. Tasnici. Samuel stops before it, his small chest rising and falling with a deep breath. The cap feels heavier in his hands, as if it carries the weight of his father's courage. His love, his loss. The crowd watches, their silence profound. A veteran in a wheelchair grips his wife's hand, his knuckles white. A young soldier, her braid tucked beneath her beret, bites her lip to keep from crying. The general straightens, his eyes glistening. Elizabeth stands frozen, her heart pounding. Pride and pain warring within her. Samuel is so small, so fragile. Yet in this moment, he is a giant, a bearer of legacy, a child stepping into his father's shadow. With a solemnity that belies his age, Samuel raises his right hand, his fingers small and unsteady, pressed to his forehead in a salute. The gesture is not perfect. His elbow wobbles, his hand tilts slightly, but it is pure. A child's tribute to a father he loved, to a hero he lost. The cap rests against his chest, its faded insignia catching the light. Samuel's eyes, wide and unblinking, stay fixed on his father's name, as if he can see him there, standing tall, smiling back. The moment is electric, a spark that ignites the hearts of all who witness it. The air seems to still, the wind holding its breath. The crowd is a sea of faces, each one touched by Samuel's act. Veterans, remembering their own fallen. Parents seeing their children in Samuel's small frame. Soldiers, feeling the weight of their oath. A woman in the back, her son buried nearby, clutches a rosary, her lips moving in silent prayer. A teenager, dragged here by his parents, lowers his phone, his cynicism melting into awe. The general's hand twitches, as if longing to salute, but he holds back, letting the boy's moment shine. The emotional peak arrives precisely as the clock ticks toward the third minute. A group of soldiers, stationed near the memorial, move as one. They snap to attention, their boots striking the ground in unison, a sound that echoes like a heartbeat. Slowly, deliberately, they raise their hands in salute, their white-gloved fingers crisp against their uniforms. It is a response to Samuel, a recognition of his courage, his loss, his love. The gesture ripples outward as other soldiers join their salutes, a chorus of honor. Veterans in the crowd, their movement slower but no less proud, raise trembling hands. The general, his face a mask of emotion, salutes at last, his eyes never leaving Samuel. The crowd erupts, not in cheers, but in a quiet, collective release. Tears fall freely. Now, streaking faces, young and old. A mother pulls her daughter close, whispering, "That's what bravery looks like." A veteran, his voice rough with age, murmurs to his friend, "Good. That boy is his father's son." Elizabeth's knees buckle, and she sinks to the ground, her hands covering her face as sobs shake her. The young soldier with the braid steps forward, placing a hand on Elizabeth's shoulder, a silent offer of strength. The band, sensing the moment, begins to play again, a soft rendition of taps that weaves through the crowd like a lullaby. The ceremony's commander, Colonel Margaret Hayes, stands at the podium, her face etched with solemnity. She is a woman of steel, her career built on discipline. Yet today, her eyes are wet. As Samuel's salute lingers, she bows her head, lower than protocol demands, a gesture that speaks of respect, of gratitude, of shared loss. The crowd mirrors her, heads bowing, hands clasping, a sea of humanity, united in this fleeting, perfect moment. Samuel lowers his hand, his small body trembling with the effort. He clutches the cap tighter, his fingers tracing the worn stitching. In a voice so soft it barely carries, he whispers, "I'm so proud of you, Dad." The words are for his father, but they resonate with everyone present. A child's love echoing across the divide between life and death. The ceremony continues, but it is forever changed. The speeches, the wreaths, the prayers, they carry a new weight, infused with the memory of Samuel's salute. As the crowd disperses, people linger, drawn to the boy and his mother. A veteran kneels before Samuel, offering a challenge coin, its edges worn from years of service. "Your dad would be proud," he says, his voice thick. A young girl, clutching her own father's hand, gives Samuel a daisy from a nearby plot, her shy smile a gift of solidarity. Elizabeth, her composure regained, thanks each one, her voice steady but warm. Samuel's story does not end at the cemetery. In the weeks that follow, a photograph of his salute spreads across the internet, shared by millions. News outlets tell of the boy who honored his father, of the soldiers who answered his call. Letters pour into Elizabeth's small apartment, filled with stories of other families, other losses, other moments of connection. Samuel, shy and unassuming, becomes a symbol, not of grief, but of resilience, of the unbreakable bond between generations. Elizabeth frames the cap, hanging it above Samuel's bed, a reminder of the father who loved him. She tells him stories each night of Daniel's laugh, his courage, his dreams for his son. Samuel listens, his eyes bright, and vows to live a life worthy of his father's name. He starts a scrapbook, filling it with the letters, the coin, the daisy, a record of a day that changed him forever. The soldiers who saluted Samuel carry the moment with them. 2. The young woman with the braid, Private Aisha Khan, writes to her own father, a veteran, promising to visit soon. The general, retiring after decades of service, mentions Samuel in his farewell speech, calling him a reminder of why we serve. Colonel Hayes, reviewing the ceremony's footage, pauses at the moment of Samuel's salute, a rare smile breaking her stern facade. That, she tells her staff, is what this is all about. The National Cemetery returns to its quiet vigil, the headstone standing sentinel under the changing seasons. But the echo of Samuel's salute lingers, a melody of love, pride, and remembrance. It is a reminder that the smallest acts, a child's hand raised, a soldier's response, can carry the weight of a nation's gratitude. It is a testament to the power of family, the strength of sacrifice, and the enduring spirit of those who serve. A single salute, small yet mighty, holds within it the love of a son, the pride of a nation, and the silent promise that the fallen will never be forgotten. It bridges the past and the future, the living and the lost, in a moment that will live forever in the hearts of those who witnessed it. And so, we ask you, have you ever seen a small act that moved your heart, that reminded you of the ties that bind us all? Share your story in the comments below. Let us know what touched you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to join us for more stories of love, sacrifice, and the moments that make us human. Together, let's honor the legacy of those who gave everything